Hi. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. I did my pole showcase this weekend. If y'all are new here and y'all don't know this, like I was a stripper forever ago, but I just returned back to pole dancing like 6 months ago. And so I did my first performance. Yeah, and that was freaking awesome. It was a really, really good time. I might upload it to the Discord, maybe. I don't know. Perhaps. I'm still thinking about it. But don't forget to jump in the chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe. And then also I left the link to the Patreon. I'm going to be posting on there this week. And then I have everything else that is in the description in the bio for like the skincare and all that. And speaking of skincare, I'm going to do my skincare. I don't do this routine daily because I'm going to be using a mask. And then I'm also going to be using the brand that I'm partnered with, which is Glow Melanin. This is also, it's like a scrub / mask. So I'm going to use like various products. So I don't do this daily. Okay. Okay, so we did all of our cleaning house of today. All right. So let's go on ahead and get into it. I feel like this is a really good conversation to have because at least for me, this was like a new discovery as far as like a new form of like weaponization that I didn't even know that was existence. And I didn't know that like women were experiencing this. I grew up as an only child, so there are a lot of things that I'm actually grateful that I grew up as the only child because I have a low tolerance for things. Also, if you're curious to know what I'm putting on my face, I left the product in the bathroom, but this is the OG Aztec clay. If you know, you know. It's the Aztec clay mask. If you're someone that has really oily skin like me, get you this mask. You just mix it with apple cider vinegar and it's really good. Really, really good if you have oily skin like me. So anyway, I grew up the only child, and so naturally that made my tolerance for bullshit really, really low. Okay, like extremely low. And so when it came to things like food, um, I didn't have to share food with anybody. You know what I mean? And to be quite honest, my eyes were a lot bigger than my stomach. And my parents were upset because I was wasting food as opposed to me like eating too much of it. So I remember the reason why I want to talk about this and why it strikes such a strong chord with me is because me being an only child and my tolerance being so low, I feel as though it protected me from having to like undergo these like small forms of weaponization that men will use against you, one of them being food. So I remember I was little and my auntie, so my grandmother's sister, I would go like, I would get dropped off at their house occasionally, right? And I remember I had a Suzy Q and like rarely ever did we like buy stuff from Hostess. Like we didn't get a whole lot of Hostess stuff very often. So I was super excited about the Suzy Q. So I put my name on it and then I put it in the refrigerator when I got to my auntie's house because I wanted to save it for later. Wrote my name on it, put it in the refrigerator. And then my uncle, so my auntie's husband, I go in the refrigerator like hours later and the fucking Suzy Q is gone. Okay, the Suzy Q is gone. And the only person that's been under the same roof as me is my fucking uncle. So then when my aunt came home, I was like, my Suzy Q is gone. And so then she ended up asking my uncle about the Suzy Q being gone. And he's like, oh yeah, I ended up eating your Suzy Q. And honestly, that shit happened when I was 9 years old. And I never forgot that. I never forgot the fact that a grown ass man took a child's fucking Suzy Q that had her name written on it. I actually still get pissed about when like me telling this story, it gets me pissed all over again. And as you can imagine, he was a pretty terrible husband too. My aunt is passed on now, but as you can imagine, he was a terrible husband. That shit at a young age That should at a young age put a bad taste in my mouth, because why are you taking someone else's food that isn't yours? And not to mention, why are you eating a young child's food? It's like when men make these comments about like, oh yeah, I love it when she's a single mom because I'm going to eat all of the child snacks. She's going to have all the child snacks for me to eat. Sir, like that's not even like gluttony. Like that's not even gluttony or greed, because if you're fucking hungry, you can use your own money and you can go buy your own fucking food. You can drive your ass to the grocery store and get your own fucking fruit snacks. You don't need to eat the fruit snacks of another person. It's nothing but entitlement, and it's nothing but a form of fucking control. So more and more women, like there's a really large conversation happening on TikTok with women who are either currently married or they are they have stories of their ex-husbands, and they're talking about how their husbands will weaponize food in their marriages with them. There was one woman, she's not married anymore. She said that her ex-husband, he used to weaponize food against her all the time. And mind you, this man was a provider. So she says that like he would give her his credit card and he'd be like, go to the grocery store and get whatever it is that we need. She went to like Sam's Club or Costco. She went to a superstore and she had bought like pork chops or something. And so they had like the pork chops in like a set of 12. So she went ahead and she was like, her mindset was like, you know what? I got a pack of, 12 pork chops. I'll cook half of them. That will last us for about like 3 or 4 days for like enough meals. I'll have the rest stored in the freezer and then like wash, rinse, repeat. You know what I mean? Like we just do it over. That's usually what you do when you buy food in bulk. It was either that she cooked 9 of them. The math is critical in this story. Okay. The math is critical. She cooked 9 out of the 12 steaks. She was going to use like 6. She was going to use 6 of them for like meal prep, because I think she has children too. She was going to use 6 between like the meal prep between like her husband and her children. And then she cooked like another 3. Her husband ate 6 pork chops. Her husband literally sat there and ate 6 out of the 9 pork chops, then proceeded to take the other 3 cooked pork chops and pack them for his lunch. This was literally all in the same day. So despite the fact that he's giving her his credit card, because it's like, of course, you want a provider man, to do those things for you, there is never a reason why a person needs to eat 6 goddamn pork chops. There is no level of sustenance so large that you need to sit there and eat 6 goddamn pork chops. I'm sorry. There's never a reason for that. Then to take the other 3 cooked pork chops and then to pack them for your lunch. So you mean to tell me that on your 30-minute to an hour lunch break, you're going to sit here and you're going to eat 3 additional fucking pork chops after you already had 6? That's a sign of weaponization. When men are sitting here and eating an outlandish amount of food in a sitting, knowing that you cooked it, knowing that there's nothing left over, or even if there is something left over and they go and eat all the leftovers, they're weaponizing food to control you. They're 1000% weaponizing food to control you. This is why when I see gluttonous men are a turnoff for me. I've talked about it on another one of my live streams before. My ex was gluttonous. Before he met me, he was 300 pounds. By the time we got together, he was 220 pounds. And we went out to a restaurant he ordered like the largest burrito. They had it was like a food challenge. You know how they have those things on the menu where it's a food challenge, and if you complete the food challenge, you get the food for free. Yeah, his fucking big bag ass orders this like 5-pound burrito, and I took pictures of him while he ate it. It was so disgusting. It was so disgusting to see a man eat like that. It was absolutely disgusting. And in my head, I'm thinking like, your ass is going to blow right back up to 300 plus pounds because you're gluttonous. You're absolutely gluttonous. And they say like in a lot of cultures, a glutton is a person with an empty soul. A glutton is a person that has like no spirit. Like in my opinion, especially as someone that had binge eating disorders, so I can talk about this because at one point I was very overweight. If you go deep enough in the archives of my videos, I talk about this and I show y'all how I looked. I looked like Miss Puff from SpongeBob. I was big. A person, even if they're not quote unquote weaponizing the food against you, the expectation is that you have to cook as a woman. And the thing about it is that you have to cook daily. So even if this man is not like purposely, doing this to try to weaponize this against you, a man's gluttony, it's going to fall back on you because you're going to be seen as the source for his gluttony to be fulfilled. He's going to be expecting that from you. And the thing about it is that when you add kids and when you add children into this, imagine all the cooking that you have to do when you have a gluttonous husband and then you also have children to cook for. There was a woman on TikTok that commented on my videos because it was the girl dinner video. She said that her and her daughter are so happy because her husband got a gastric sleeve. So they're happy that he got a gastric sleeve because now he can't eat as much food. He can't eat as much food in the goddamn house anymore. This is another reason why these like big ass men, these 6-foot men, I'm sorry, I'm not dealing with no big ass man. Like I already told y'all, I dealt with a man that was 6'4". We could never share food. It was never going to be 50-50 sharing food because he would always eat like 80% of the food and then I would eat 20% of the food. Like this is why I be dealing with men that are closer to my size because I would pick up on that immediately and I would see the imbalance in that immediately. And you need food to live. Like that's not a small thing to just overlook. You're going to be reminded daily of the amount of food that this man is eating, whether you cook it, whether y'all order out and y'all want to share something. You're going to notice how quickly things are running out in your refrigerator when you have a man living under the same roof as you. And another thing too, that was another reason why I didn't want a man under the same roof as me. Because like the longest relationship that I had with a man was a man that didn't even really like to eat. He would have girl dinners. Okay, he would have girl dinners. He's like, oh yeah, like all I'm gonna have is just like half of this burger and then like some fries. And he would even say, he's like, I'm not active enough to be eating all that food. He's like, that's how you get fat. Like he got it. He understood. He's like, no, he's like, that's how you get fat. He was like, I don't need all that food. He's like, I'm small. I don't need to eat all that shit. That's how a person with common sense thinks. That's how a man that isn't gluttonous thinks. I don't need all that goddamn food, especially, I mean, come on, you have men that work in construction and they literally have they have a gut. Can you imagine working in construction? You're working outside 8 to 12 hours a day. You have on layers of clothing. Do you know how much you have to be eating and not to mention you have testosterone, which means that your metabolism is faster. And on average, you have more muscle mass than a woman, which is also making you burn fat faster. Do you know how much of a gluttonous fuck you have to be working a job in construction and you be overweight as a man? You're gluttonous as hell. You're eating everything in freaking sight. You're eating everything in freaking sight. And when you live under the same roof with these men, there's nothing that you can do about it. Then not to mention, you mentioned the 50-50 bills thing, which was what I literally had as a talking point. These men literally want you to go 50-50 on, they want you to go 50-50 on the bills. But yet they're the ones rummaging through like the grocery bill. They are the ones that are going through like fucking 60-70% of the amount of groceries. So they want you to pay 50%. They want you to pay 50% of the groceries, but yet they're eating fucking 70% of everything. That's not 50-50. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, no, there's no reason as a man you're working a laborious job and you're overweight. That's crazy. You're looking to be fat. I'm sorry. You're looking to be overweight as a man if you're working a laborious job and you're still big. That's crazy. You need to put the fucking fork down. Because that's the thing, too. A lot of these men that work these laborious jobs, a blue collar man stay with a wife. A blue collar man stay with a wife. So she's up under this expectation that she constantly has to feed this man. Another thing too, is it's like a comfort trap when it comes to food because men equate food with love. I mean, culturally, food is a very important thing anyway. Like, obviously, we bond over food, we communicate over food. Food is already like a culturally strong thing in general with humans. But obviously, we understand that men equate food with love. So they have this expectation for women to cook for them. I want them to make my plate. I just found out, I don't know how true it is. Y'all could fact check me. The reason why they came up with the whole thing of like men need to eat first, the reason why they were saying like, oh yeah, like men need to eat first. Yeah, that's because they're gonna eat fucking everything. They had to like they wanted to change it because when they said that men would eat first, they would have like the woman at like the head of the table to like monitor like the amount of food that they were actually getting to make sure that there was actually enough food for everybody else. So yeah, they have this thing where they look at it like a performance of care. And so over time, once women start equating feeding a man, they start equating feeding a man with intimacy. And that's the issue. I only deal with men that overall they look at food as just a form of sustenance. They don't look at food in regards to pleasure. Not saying that like we can't go out to a restaurant. I'm a foodie, but 80% of the time, 85% of the time, I'm eating because I'm eating for my nutritional health, for my nutritional value, just to make sure that I'm eating what I need to sustain life and to be fully functional. The other 15%, that's for pleasure. A large majority of men these days, they want 85% of their food experiences to be derived from pleasure because these men are so addicted to dopamine and they short circuit their dopamine so much with the video games, with the food, with the corn, all of that. Their dopamine, they're not doing anything to reset this dopamine. So what happens is that what these men are doing when you start building a bond of intimacy with them through your cooking, these men are really conditioning you into comfort. And then what happens is that then these men start using that against you because you're taking so much pride in you cooking for them. Men are always going to take something and they're going to stretch it out as far as they possibly can. So this is why I tell women, like women understand this. Women are learning. Women are catching on. Let me just get the mask. Hold on. That way y'all can go back and let it play and y'all don't have to ask me. It's this one. It's the OG Aztec secret Indian healing clay. It's such a good mask. So they're going to stretch everything out. And women are learning this because women are learning that if they say the honest truth and they admit the fact that they like cooking, right away the women are noticing that these men, oh well, since you like cooking, and they think they're doing you a favor by saying this, I'll buy the groceries. I'll buy the groceries and then you could just cook. That's their new play now. That's their new line now. Instead of saying like, oh, cook for me, they want to do you the favor of going ahead and going to the grocery store and then buying everything. Meanwhile, even if you were to allow a man to do that, is it even worth them calling you and be like, where's the bok choy? I don't know where the bok choy is. Where's the chicken broth? I don't know where the chicken broth is. Where is this? I don't know where this is at. Like, because if a man does offer to go buy you groceries to cook for him, you're going to still have to deal with the labor of helping him figure out where the fuck the shit is anyway, because he doesn't cook. So he's not going to know where anything is at the grocery store. That's a whole nother job in and within itself. Having to direct the damn man to tell him where he needs to go in the grocery store, doesn't even know the produce from the meat section. Chow. These men are crazy. Hold on, I'm looking at my talking points here. Oh, another thing too. Sometimes these men, the weaponization of food, sometimes it's not even them being gluttonous. They will have this gluttony and then they will expect for it to spill out over to you. So, because they want you to be fat. Like, there are men out here that openly admit this. Oh, yeah, I want my woman to be overweight, or I want to get with her and get her overweight because then no one's going to want her. Because no matter what, men want safety. And the highest amount of safety that men can have is with a woman that they don't have to compete with another man over. Also, let me know if this fan is too loud. I'm trying to dry down this mask a little bit quicker. So if the fan's too loud, please tell me. Shouldn't be, but just let me know. So this is also how men will weaponize food against you. They're going to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, yeah, I love that extra weight on you. They're going to sit here and say, like, I'm sorry. I remember when I was watching that Ashanti and that Nelly TV show. Remember when Ashanti and Nelly had that TV show in like the spring of this year? I'm sorry. I don't believe men when they say that they like women with the extra weight. I just don't believe it. Or when women get pregnant, oh, yeah, like I love all of that extra. I'm sorry. I don't believe them. These men cheat on pregnant women way too much for me to ever believe that they like it when women gain weight. These men cheat way too much and complain way too much about how women let themselves go. The snapback culture is way too strong in society for me to ever believe that these men like it when you gain weight. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't believe it. Of course, people have their preferences. People have their preferences, but when I'm talking about how they meet you versus like once you gain weight, if they have a preference for a woman that's thick and and that's just what they like and they meet her that way, okay, cool. It's when they meet you a certain way and then you gain weight. And the reason why Ashanti won't lose weight is because Nelly is over here telling her that he likes it. So that's the psychology that I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Once women get in a marriage and once women get in a situation with a man, the standards that she once had for herself, if she's not strong in the mind enough, she will just only care about the standard of a man. So this is why you hear a lot of women say, well, my man likes it. Meanwhile, you don't like it, because if you liked it, you would have been looking like this before you got with him. So I know you don't like it. You're just not doing anything about it because you're getting what you believe to be validating from a man. And that's just simply because he's telling you that he likes you, that he likes it. They don't like that. I'm sorry. Men don't like it when women, I'm just going to be crass. Men don't like it when women get fat. I'm sorry. Like, they don't like it. They don't physically like the appearance of a woman gaining weight. They like the safety that it provides them once a woman gains weight. If any man ever said that he liked you more after you gained weight, I'm sorry. He in most cases was lying to you. Do not, and this is not me trying to like facilitate, Gluttony means like greedy, like eating a lot. Eating a lot, eating in excess, like you don't have control over your eating habits. A lot of these men, they don't physically like a woman that's gained weight. They like the safety that it provides them because they understand. And y'all know that men say this, nobody's gonna want her. Nobody's gonna want her looking like that. This is why, as a woman, it is so important that if you need to stand firm, you need to stand firm on keeping your same exact habits pre-boyfriend, pre-marriage as you do when you're married, when you have children. If a man cannot facilitate for you to have the life of having the same habits that you had before you got in a relationship or a marriage with him, he's bad news. You need to get away from this man. You need to quit dealing with this man, because I can tell you one thing. A man's habits are never changing. You rarely hear men say, "Oh yeah, I used to do XYZ before I got married, and now I can't do it anymore." Like, the only time they talk about that is in regards to cheating. Honestly, oh yeah, I used to be out and I used to be a player and I used to be this. The only quote unquote lifestyle change that men have, being single versus being in a relationship or being married, is just the fact that they can't fucking cheat anymore, or they understand that there's a higher risk of them getting caught if they were to cheat. Meanwhile, you have women that were like, "Oh, I would go to the gym, I would go to spa days, I would do this, I would do that," and then guess what? She got married and she had children, and now she can't do any of that stuff anymore. Meanwhile, the man's lifestyle hasn't changed once. Hasn't changed at all. Not one aspect of his life is any different. I'm big on that. That's the reason why I can't stay in a relationship, because a lot of these men, I notice really quickly, they don't want to facilitate a lifestyle in which that I can keep, and I can keep it the same way as I was when I was single. They have a really, really hard time with that because they want you ugly. They want you ugly for their benefit. They want you ugly for their benefit, and I'm sorry, you can't be a baddie and be sacrificing yourself for a man. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. She said, "Gonna watch what I eat in a day as a Victoria's Secret model after this." Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yes. Yes. I never had sardines before. Never had sardines before. I bought some sardines today and I tried them. I did some sardine avocado toast. I actually like sardines. I do actually like sardines, and they're super high in protein. I'm definitely going to start adding sardines in my rotation. I'm morbidly obese. This guy says he loves it. I don't believe him. Yeah, he's just, when men see overweight women, they automatically think low self-esteem, desperate. She'll settle. That's what they're really trying to say when they talk about how they like how women are overweight. And I've had men admit this to me. They'll tell me, they'll be like, "Well, I'm not really attracted to women that are bigger, but I know that they'll do more for me. I know that they'll do more for me because they already know that there's an inadequacy there physically." So that's how a lot of these men view women that are overweight. That's the reason why these men get so mad when overweight women have standards. And no matter what size you are as a woman, you should always have super high standards, because they're not going to treat you any better when you're skinny. Okay? They're not going to treat you any better when you're skinny. At least when you're in a relationship, they're not. Obviously, when you're out and about and they're picking and choosing who they want to talk to, who they want to hold the door for, of course they're going to treat you differently, because they don't have an indicator of attraction to motivate them to want to do things for you. But when it comes to a relationship, you're going to get the same exact treatment as the woman that they're attracted to. Attraction is only beneficial as a woman if you want to sleep with a man. Honestly, if you want to have your pick of the litter of men to sleep with, then yeah, like your attraction is going to matter. In regards to just, these men. I'm not talking about anything else, as far as like earning money, like using your beauty as like a way for you to monetize. Not talking about that way. The only time your beauty is going to matter in that aspect, though, dealing with men as far as male validation, it's only if you want to sleep with. It's only going to be worth it if you want to sleep with attractive men. You're not going to benefit in any other way outside of that. Do you don't, I'm guessing you're asking, I don't date anymore at all. Like, actually, I don't date. I don't date. I be up in the house, minding my business, going to the gym, learning probably doing some witchy stuff, reading a book, gaining knowledge of some form, and minding my business. I just bought this today. It's blood orange, and it's good. It's really, really good. I think this is my new favorite flavor. I do. I think this is my new favorite flavor. I'm going to start making my own kombucha again. I just need to get me a SCOBY. I need to order me a SCOBY in a mason jar and start making my own kombucha, because they're taxing a lot. Like, I remember when these used to be like $3. Where I'm at, this stuff is like $4.70. I mean, it's super expensive. I'm going to be making my own kombucha. I've made it before. And I don't see the point of dating these men for what? For what? I don't have anything to benefit. I don't have anything to benefit at all. I like the mango. Before this blood orange one, I was drinking the peach paradise one pretty often. I was drinking that one a lot. Um another thing too, depending on what type of family that you grew up in, this is another thing too with food. Depending on what type of family you grew up in, I know if you grew up in a Black family, you'll be able to relate, but a lot of the time, food is used as a peace offering. Food is used as a peace offering after there's an argument. So that's like another thing too, because if a man has conditioned you to cook for him, and you've now internalized that as a form of intimacy to receive from a man, it can be really easy to offer up food as like a peace offering, especially if y'all have arguments. So sometimes these men will start arguments because they already know you about to cook for them anyway, because they'll use it as a form of control. Men are crafty. Men are crafty. They're crafty as hell. Like, honestly, they're super, super, super crafty. Oh, I'm using the turmeric brightening scrub by Glow Melanin. Shameless plug. This is a Black owned company. I'm sure y'all have seen Glow Melanin before. They're known for like their turmeric mask, and they are a Black owned business. They do prioritize in making skincare products for women of color, especially because we're more prone to things like hyperpigmentation. And you can use the code QUEEN15 at checkout. I have the link in my link tree, which is in my bio. And their products are awesome. Their products are awesome. They're really, really good. And so this scrub, it's a scrub, and then they recommend for you to leave it on your skin for about 5 minutes. I like using this in the shower. So what I'll do is I'll use the scrub first in the shower, and I'll just let it sit on my face while I wash my body. So this is really good. So this is the next step. And like I said, obviously I don't do this every day, this full routine, because obviously I'm not going to use a mask and exfoliate my skin every damn day. I wouldn't have no skin left if I did that. I like to do this once a week. This is like my once a week maintenance. Once a week maintenance. And no, I didn't see the trailer. I didn't even know that they were making a movie. I didn't even know that they were making a movie. But when it comes to food, I feel like a lot of women are finally understanding that these men were using food the whole time to control you. They were using food the whole time to control you. Oh, and another thing too that facilitates this, I'm so glad I didn't have siblings, particularly male siblings. Because another thing too, a lot of mothers enable this gluttonous behavior. I hear a lot from from women that had brothers. The mom would let the son eat anything and everything and be like, he's a growing boy. He's a growing boy. And it's like, your daughter is 10 years old. She's growing too. Like, that's insane. That's insane to void your children of like being satiated in the fact that you're like allocating this due to gender by saying that he's a growing boy, he needs more food, as if your daughter isn't growing too, is crazy to me. A lot of the time, that's where that entitlement comes from. For some of these men, that's where that entitlement comes from, because there's a lot of mothers out there that they literally show preferential treatment through the amount of food that they give their children. Have you ever tried sea moss for weight loss, Queen? Girl, you already know. Hold on. Baby, I stay sea mossed up. Okay, I stay sea mossed up over here. Sorry, I know I'm interjecting myself. I stay sea mossed up over here. Okay, go on TikTok shop and get the true sea moss. It's my favorite. They sell it at Sprouts, but the price is super inflated. They want $34. They want $34 for this. You can get a 2-pack on TikTok shop for $56. So that prices this at like 27 bucks. Honestly, I've never heard of someone putting sea moss on bread. To be honest, at least the mango one tastes good enough that you could do that. I don't think I ever would. Usually people just eat it by the spoonful. So sea moss has like 91 minerals in it, because normally they've stripped all of our food, our water of nutrients and minerals. If you eat a regular diet and a pretty well-rounded diet, for the most part, you're getting enough of your vitamins. You may need to you may need to supplement with maybe like iron or vitamin D. That's like an individual type of thing. But overall, if you eat meat, And if you're like mindful and you having a well-balanced diet, you're pretty much getting your vitamins. It's the minerals. And yes, people do put sea moss in smoothies. Because you also can purchase like the raw sea moss, so you actually can purchase like the moss. Like it really does look like moss, like it looks like a loofah. Sorry, I know I'm getting off a subject here. But we are talking about gluttony. This is going to help you to prevent your gluttony. Okay. But on here it says immune, a variety of nutrients that play a role in overall well-being, digestion, and gut, contains prebiotic fiber that helps nourish gut flora, energy, supports daily vitality and balanced energy levels. Detox contributes to the body's cleansing process. And then skin helps maintain skin hydration and overall appearance. So that's what they put on here for what it is that it does. Another thing too, which is what I already talked about, men demanding more food than necessary because it's like, oh, I have to keep my man fed, or like I have to keep my man fed to avoid him. You know, when they say stomach full, balls empty, they're like stomach full, balls empty. Like that already goes to show you right there the propaganda that they want women to believe. Like, oh yeah, all I have to do is cook for a man. It's like, dude, these men are fucking gluttonous and they want to extract all this labor out of women. Like, no, why do I have to cook for you and enslave in the kitchen for you to not go out and cheat? Like, that sounds insane. Like what? If you need stuff for the heart, you should take K2D3. K2D3. It comes combined. And those two together are good for your cardiovascular and your bone support. Go look into K2D3. That'll help you with your cardiovascular stuff. Reminds me of how obesity in men can cause ED. Exactly. Exactly, because they're eating all of these pork chops and rib tips and burgers and stuff like that. Okay, well now their blood pressure is through the roof. Now they have vasoconstriction. So now their blood vessels are tightening up, and they're tightening up so much they don't have enough blood flowing to get their ding-a-ling hard. That's why I don't like the holidays anymore, because they want so much food. Yeah, because you already know what time it is, ladies. The holidays are coming. We about to be hearing from a ton of mothers and wives. They about to get on the internet and start reminding us why we're lucky and privileged to not be married, or if you're divorced, why you're privileged to be divorced. Because guess what? We get to hear about them complain. We get to we got to hear them complain about how they got to cook, they got to prep. No one's helping them go grocery shopping. No one's helping them cook any of the food. They got to prepare all that food. They got in-laws coming in from out of town and they got to cook for everybody. Then they got to clean up after, and how stressed out they are. Y'all already know we about to be hearing it. It never fails. They be like, and no one even thanks me. And no one even thanks me. Like, if you're a woman who's married and you're tired of doing the domestic labor, especially cooking, listen, if you want to know if your man loves you or if he just loves you for your labor, listen, all you got to do is go up to your husband and say, you want to know what? I think we should order a caterer this year for Thanksgiving. Don't you think we should order a caterer? Pull up someone real nice on Instagram. And if he's like, a caterer, we're not paying money for that. And the thing about it too is that men are real good at trying to use flattery to get women to do labor that they don't want to do. That's another thing. That's another tactic that they like to use. Oh, baby, we don't need to hire anybody. I already know that that chef can't compare to your cooking, especially if you make like a signature something. You got a signature pot roast or something that you make for the holidays. I bet you she can't. I bet you she can't make your own signature pot roast. They try to sucker you in with flattery to get you to do something, that you don't want to do. Yeah, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. It's a manipulation tactic to get you to do labor that you are clearly saying that you don't want to do. Obviously, they don't care. And men do talk a good game. I'm not gonna lie. Men do talk a good game. Speaking of, I was emptying out. Also, look at the glow. Like literally, I love using the Glow Melanin products because that turmeric really does like make your skin glow. Like once like you take the product off, it really, really does make my skin glow after. Like it looks so good. It does. It looks so good. So yeah, y'all definitely cop you some Glow Melanin. This is a turmeric brightening scrub. It's my favorite. They sent me that. They sent me the soap. They have a bar soap. I use the bar soap. And then we're going to be using this in the rotation too, but they have the Magic Eraser Dark Spot Cream as well. Okay. So yeah, their products are amazing. And don't forget, use code QUEEN15 at checkout and you'll get 15% off of your purchase too. Okay, now we're on to the rest of my skincare. This is vitamin C. It's like CosRX. It's a Korean skincare brand, super cheap. I'm running out, so I'm going to have to use my finger to put it on. Gonna have to use my finger to put it on. I was looking at my camera roll yesterday, and I had seen a screenshot that I took. Queen15, Queen QUEEN15. Queen15 is the code. You'll see it. Just go to my link tree. I already have it linked in my link tree. So all you have to do is just go to my link tree and then click on the Glow Melanin, and it's got the code. For the Womanizer self-pleasure products, it's there too. The code is there. That way y'all don't have to keep asking. All you got to do is just go to the link tree. The codes are right there. So y'all will always have access to the codes and y'all don't have to hunt for them. Let me read y'all what it said. Hold on. I still use their snail mucin. I do, because I like how bouncy. I just love how bouncy it makes my skin. Like I just love how plump and bouncy it makes my skin. Hold on, I'm almost there. I'm using my knuckle because I don't want to get my fingers. I don't want to use my fingers since I'm putting them on my face to put on my skincare. Oh my God, what the French toast? Where is it at? Essentially, he was like, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. All you have to do is exist. He was like, all you have to do is exist. He's like, I'm your man. All you have to do is exist. I'm like, and when I read the text message, I was like, I can see how women get swept off their feet, because I mean, yeah, men are sweet talkers. We're pretty, as women, we're pretty much conditioned to put a lot of stock in what men say, because men don't really do a whole lot. Like, that's the reason why we have to take so much stock into what they say, because you can't bank on them actually doing it. But it was funny that I seen that text message, and I was like, you want to know what? If I was stupid, if I was a stupid woman, this would still be convincing. This would still be convincing. Oh, that was I just realized I'm missing a product. But that was alpha arbutin that I put on by The Ordinary. And then now I'm gonna use, so okay, so you want to know what? I would be having to pick between these, because they say that you can use this morning and night. We're gonna use this instead. We're gonna use the Magic Eraser Dark Spot Cream. I don't really have that many dark spots. They're more so across my jawline, but I don't really have that many. But my cheeks are my problem area. My cheeks and my jawline. Everything else is pretty good. So we're going to put this on instead. Because both of these, the one by The Ordinary that I have, it's also for correcting dark spots and like lightening them. I'm going to go on with just a teeny tiny bit on my forehead, just a little bit. Okay. Men's lives depend on being sweet talkers. Men who can't do it ain't going to get fed a proper meal. Precisely. Oh yeah, and this is the snail mucin that we were talking about. The snail mucin by CosRx. I have oily skin, but I still use it. I still use it because I just love how bouncy it makes my skin. Okay, another thing too, men don't want you to rest. Like, it's no wonder why they want you to constantly, they're going to eat through all the food because they want to see you in the kitchen longer. Like, I feel like that's a no-brainer, okay? If a man is constantly eating up all of the food, yeah, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear he wants you in the kitchen. I think women underestimate how men get off on the fact of doing you labor, because that's the only source of validation that men get. The only source of validation that men get is to see women do things that they know that women really don't want to do, because they're like, oh my God, I'm so special that she decided to go out of her way to do something for me that she really didn't want to do. That's how men get validated. Men get off. I even had a woman comment on my video talking about girl dinner on TikTok. She said her 10 years old, like, I want to stress that, 10 years old, her 10-year-old son told her, Mommy, I know I don't finish all the food that you cook for me, but I love the fact that you cook for me even when you don't feel like it. Like, I just love watching you cook even when I don't finish all of the food that it is that you cook. And he's 10 years old. 10 years old. That's insane. That's insane that a 10-year-old is not only thinking that, but vocalize that to his mother. at 10 years old. And everyone in the comments was like, yeah, you need to start having his ass cook. You need to start having his ass in the kitchen, because that's another thing too. All the men in my family, they know how to cook, okay? Because I grew up in a family of women who were teaching their sons, you need to know how to do everything so that way you don't rely on a woman. Like my dad can cook his ass off. And my dad has no problem cooking. He has no problem cooking at all. Now, he does own a restaurant, but however, so he will take some food for the restaurant and bring that home sometimes when he doesn't feel like cooking. But my grandma, like, that literally was her reasoning. Oh, that's all my skincare, by the way. Oh, and that last product, once again, Korean skincare, SPF 50. SPF 50 by CosRx, because if you do use the Magic Spot Eraser, you need to make sure that you're using SPF with this, because what's in here? There's niacinamide in this, and there's L-ascorbic acid in this. So you definitely need to make sure you pair this with SPF. You should be wearing SPF daily, regardless of the fact, but yeah. But my grandma taught my dad how to do everything because, yeah, she didn't want him relying on a woman. Because I've seen it. There was one guy that I worked with. He had this Latina girlfriend. The Latina girl, he didn't know how to cook at all. This white guy, he had him a Latina girlfriend. She cooked all his meals. He would come with this big old, he would come to work with this big old glass Tupperware with carnitas and, barbacoa and like all that stuff up in there. And then they broke up, and I never seen him go to the cafeteria so much. And I remember the janitor. It was a woman that we had as a janitor who would clean in our section. And I remember her being like, she had saw how pathetic. She's like, you want to know what? This is pathetic. Not pathetic, but she was just kind of like, this is the reason why I have to, this is the reason why I teach my children. This is the reason why I teach my children how to cook. That way they don't have to worry about that. That way they don't have to worry about relying on somebody cooking for them. Child, and just like that, it's gone. It's gone. And cooking is a human skill. It's a basic human skill. I just kind of feel like I look at it like this, right? If men want like women, like the whole like equality thing, like if they want to weaponize us, like making our own money against, wonderful. But at the same time, like the weaponization can go the other way, because it's like, as an adult, you also need to know how to cook. Like, if you don't know how to cook, you're going to have a woman by your side 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're definitely going to need to know how to cook. That's just crazy to me. I can't believe that there are mothers out here that are like, oh, you need to, like, no, you need to know how to cook. It's a basic human skill. How are you going and then the fact that there are women that have to tell men, like, pretend, like, what are you going to do if I'm not here? What are you going to do if I'm not here? How are you going to know how to do, how are you going to do all of these things if, like, I'm not here anymore? And if cooking is one of those things that you have to tell people, that you have to like tell men, like in your family or in your husband, like, how are you going to take care of this? How are you going to take care of this if I'm not here? That's a basic life skill. That's literally like telling someone, how are you going to breathe if I'm not here? You have to eat. You have to know how to eat and cook to survive. Like, what if they close down all the fast food restaurants? Like, what if they were to close down all of the fucking grocery stores? Like, what if we went on full purge mode? Like, then what are you going to do? When you don't spend money feeding a glutton, you could spend it in restaurants. I usually just eat ingredients. I know how to cook, but I hate it, so I don't unless it's for my kids. Yeah, that I mean, that's what girl dinner is. Girl dinner is really just a concoction of different ingredients together. So like you'll have some almonds and then you'll have some eggs and then you'll have some crackers and then you'll have some cucumber and then you'll have some cheese slices. Like it's just a concoction of just different types of ingredients. It's not like this full concoction of, things that have to be prepared together because the thing about it is that like sometimes I don't want to go through all of the steps that it would take to actually cook or prepare a meal like that. So I'll just take a little bit of protein, a little bit of carb, a little bit of fat, and then call it a day and move on. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and make some grandiose meal for what? For what? Like, that's stupid. I just don't think cooking is worth it. I do not appreciate that I have to spend 15 minutes cooking, but my food is gone in 10 minutes. I agree. And it's usually based off of what my body needs. I'm not that hungry and my cravings guide the way. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like sometimes I'm just not hungry. Like I'm not hungry enough to be making all that food. Sometimes I'm just going to make me a protein smoothie and then that's all I'm just going to have that night because I don't feel like cooking anything else. I don't feel like cooking anything else. Um, Another thing too, if you lead with cooking, that's the thing too. If you're a woman and you lead with cooking, you're gonna as long if you lead with cooking and like you ended up getting the man, and that was one of the things that you led with, I hope you're prepared to cook for the rest of your life. Because the thing about it is that when you're young, like when you're in your 20s, you have the energy. You have the energy to be cooking like that. And then also, before kids, it's cute cooking for your man when you're 20 something years old and you don't have any children. You have free time. You have free time to want to cook. So you're over here like, okay, it's no big deal, no biggie at all. As you get older, you're not going to have as much energy. And the little bit of energy that you do have, you're not going to be looking to spend it on cooking for somebody. You're not going to. That's another thing too. Like, because there were women talking about like there was a girl that commented on my TikTok. She comments on my TikTok talking about girl dinner. And she's like, oh, well, my husband cooks for me, so I don't have to worry about that. How to work with an ex you see every day? That's a good question. Pretend you don't see them, pretend they don't exist. And if you do that and they start causing problems for you, as much as I hate giving the advice of as much as I hate giving the advice of like just moving on, I feel like in those situations, if you're minding your own business and you ignore their existence and they try to start problems, I don't even stay around to deal with that stuff. I'll just go work another place. But yeah, I would just pretend like they don't exist if it were me. That's hilarious. Or you could become his boss. That works too. But yeah, you're gonna get tired. It's gonna get old real fast cooking for somebody. That's why they call it the honeymoon phase. you don't care about all the labor that you have to do when you're infatuated with somebody, but you're not going to be infatuated with somebody your whole entire time with them. That's impossible. So when you're just going off of those like good, like those feel good feelings of like wanting to serve somebody, yeah, it's great when you feel like it. But the thing about it is that you're expected to do these things whether you feel like it or not. And it just so happens that they want women to do the labor that has to be done daily. Because men will say, well, who's going to mow the lawn and who's going to change the oil? You're not mowing the lawn every day. You're not changing the oil every day. You have to clean every day. You have to cook every day. So you like seriously, the amount of labor in an annual year, it doesn't even match. Doesn't even match. I would say it's like 95 to 5% female labor to male labor. It doesn't even compare. Same. I'm so good at looking right through people. Yeah, like just pretend like they don't exist. If you neglect their existence, it ain't gonna make a difference anyway. Oh wow, this video still hasn't uploaded yet, and I've been yapping. I've been yapping this whole time. All right, y'all. You all know we're an hour in. Let me see how many more talking points I have. I have one more talking point. Perfect timing. I already mentioned it earlier in the live stream. The more food a man eats, the quicker y'all are going to run through money. So if you're going 50-50 economically, you're getting robbed. You're getting robbed because you got to cook more food, which means you got to wash more dishes. You got to use more laundry detergent, and then you have to allocate more time. That is an economic and time loop, because that means you have to take more trips to the grocery store. You got to take more trips to the grocery store. You got to clean the dishes more. You got to prep the food more often. You got to clean out the refrigerator more often. You got to rotate through your Tupperware more often. Like, cooking is a compounding thing. Like, honestly, cooking is a compounding thing because, like, the kitchen is the heart of the home. Honestly, the kitchen is the heart of the home. I just don't understand how reciprocity isn't naturally occurring to them because they don't have enough source to even have an inkling of reciprocity. Men are really just in survival mode. They're just trying to survive. When you're focused on trying to survive, you're not caring about empathy or reciprocity or anything like that. Most of men's thoughts are, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to get the outcome that I need? What do I need to do to survive? Most men are perpetually in survival mode. Can you talk about men dieting versus women dieting? Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the super chats also, by the way. I don't even consider what men do to be a diet, because men have more testosterone and they have more muscle mass. So like if a man's drinking soda, all a man has to do is like take out soda and he's going to lose like 20 pounds in a month. Like all a man has to do is like start walking 10,000 steps a day, and he's going to see like way more changes. She says, I bring this up because when men do it, they seem to be more wasteful and dumb about it, as if like they don't know how to diet. Yeah, it's because they're trying to, if that's the case, if they're being dumb about it, once again, it's just weaponizing competence. Men know, like I said before earlier in the live stream, it's extremely easy for men to lose weight. Like extremely easy for men to lose weight. Women, we have estrogen. We're a lot more sensitive with our cortisol, and we live in a patriarchal society where we run on it's a 24-hour work cycle based off of a man cycle, and we're cyclical. We're cyclical over a month span. So there's really nothing that is trying to like help women that would aid women in like doing a diet, a quote unquote diet. Men, they don't have to really do much. They don't have to do much. So if there was any excuse or just like ignorance that they would have in regards to dieting, like they're definitely lying. They do paleo and keto and make their whole family miserable with it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of look at it like this because I did bodybuilding too. And the thing about it is that men are extremists. Like a lot of men, they would never do intuitive eating. They're usually gonna go on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And women will too, because obviously we want instant gratification. Thank you, Belle. Love you. We all want instant gratification. So I mean, it kind of is what it is. Um, but men are usually going to do things that are just like a lot more like it's going to be a lot less intuitive than what the women are doing when it comes to dieting. And that's another thing too. That's another thing. However the man is eating, the obligation is that the family has to eat the same way. And the thing about it is that it's a gift and a curse, right? Because if you're the one cooking everything, it damn near might be easier to get on the man's program and just cook the same way for everybody, because then if you don't, that means you have to cook more than one time. You have to cook a different thing. Like, when women tell me that, they're like, "Oh yeah, my husband eats meat, but my son doesn't eat meat." And then my daughter is a pescatarian. Could you fucking imagine cooking for a family like that? Yes, they need to cook for their own self, point blank, period. Like when I hear women tell me that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my husband eats meat, my son is a vegetarian, my daughter is a pescatarian." Like, excuse me? So you mean to tell me that I gotta cook some lentils, some rice, some broccoli, some salmon, and a goddamn steak? Oh no. Oh no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The grown people are definitely gonna have to fend for themselves. The grown adult person is gonna have to cook on their own. And then if you're a child and you're able to decide if you're pescatarian or vegetarian, you know how to cook. You should know how to cook by then. You should know how to cook by then. So at that point, no, you should be cooking for yourself. I don't know how some of these women do it. And then also too, the labor that women put, that's another one too. The labor that women put in deciding what the family is going to eat. I never understood it. I never understood it. Where I grew up, like I remember I would be friends with Facebook with girls like from my hometown, and they would like share like posts or whatever talking about like the hardest thing that I have to do as a wife is deciding like what I'm going to cook for dinner. And I'm like even on TV shows, remember how on TV shows they used to do that too, where like they would have the wife and the wife would have like a menu. They would like, they would throw it in like movies and TV shows and whatnot. And essentially they would have like a menu and be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have Salisbury steak. We're gonna have Salisbury steak one day, or we're gonna have this meal another day." And it's like, bro, we're doing a protein, a carb, and a fat. The groceries are gonna be bought, and you're gonna cook your goddamn self. Like, All you need is a protein, carb, and fat. Cook it your fucking self. Like, I'm not gonna sit. I am not fucking Gordon Ramsay. I am not going to sit here and come up with multiple combinations of what it is that I need to cook so that way my man is not bored of what it is that I'm cooking, or my family is not bored of what I'm cooking. Forget that. No, absolutely not. Like, ugh. I think out of all of the forms of labor that men expect, cooking is the hardest no for me. Cooking is the hardest no for me. And then have y'all ever noticed that men's favorite meal that men prepare is usually a very labor intensive meal. It's never something quick. It's never something quick. They're like, "Oh yeah, can you make this pot roast with this gnocchi pasta, this homemade pasta that you make?" Like, it's always something just it's just something absolutely ridiculous. It's something that's going to be extremely labor intensive. It's not something quick like some fucking macaroni and cheese. Like, okay, all I gotta do is boil some elbows, cut up some cheese, some milk, some flour, stir that baby up. If I want to bake it, I can go on ahead and bake it. Like, what? They want you to cook the most labor intensive thing. They get mad if you don't make it just like their mom. It's like, then have your mom make it. Go marry your mom. But yeah, out of all of I don't want to do any of that labor, but I'm not cooking. I'm not cooking. And if I am cooking, it's because it's something that I truly want to make. It's because it's something that I truly want to make. Yesterday, I heard a man use healthy and smothered in the same sentence. And it's like, in what? In what? What can you smother? What can you eat that's smothered in something and is healthy? Like, what are we smothering it in? Garbanzo beans or something? Like protein powder, pea powder? What are we smothering something in where it could be healthy? Like, men say the darndest things, I tell you. Men say the darndest things. He was saying how women need to cook for the family. It's like, okay, well then go hire a female chef. Women need to cook for the family. Go find a female chef. There's plenty of them. I actually follow a few on Instagram. Smother him with a pillow in his sleep. Right, he said healthy. Smother him to get rid of that sleep apnea. Like, what? They are too cheap to get a chef. They want to get one for the fake price of love. That's why they're going to constantly be like, "Oh yeah, it should be the love that counts. Love should be enough." It's like, chow no. Chow no. And the thing about it is that a lot of these men don't even realize, like, when women were in the kitchen cooking, it was less men alive. That's what a lot of these men don't realize. When women were in the kitchen, less of them were alive. Because why would you want to play with somebody? Why would you want to play with somebody that yeah, it's gonna be so quick, the live stream on the spiritual channel. But once I hit 2 hours on here, I'm gonna go to the spiritual channel and we're gonna talk about the astrological houses. It's gonna be super quick. It's not gonna be long. It's not gonna be long. Men hate how good the men had it in the past. Ah, well, today's men have to pay for their past and present transgressions. Yeah, because the thing about it is that what the current men of today don't realize is that the reason why their group, their generation of men don't have what like their grandfathers and their great grandfathers had was because their grandfathers and great grandfathers abused it. And so that's the reason why they don't have it anymore. They're upset about what women aren't doing when they really should be mad at their grandfathers and great grandfathers for not being appreciative of what they had and not abusing what they had. Like, you're literally putting your hands on a woman that's cooking and cleaning for you and birthing your children, and then complaining about how she doesn't want to have to do that anymore. And that if she can avoid getting smacked in between the washer and dryer by being able to get her own job and get her own home and her own bank account, so that way she can avoid all of those issues that she had. Yeah, I think any person with common sense would choose to do that. Like it doesn't make sense otherwise. It's Queen the Mystic. That's the name of the channel. I'll link it. All right, here we go. Ba-da-da. Okay. There we go. Okay, it's in the chat. Even the ones that weren't abusive still provided for their whole families, and they provided for their side families too. They didn't only provide for their primary family, they was providing for their secondary family because they had enough money. But then again, I still don't give them any credit because it's like, of course you have enough money when the woman can't work or the woman can't do anything. Like, if you have $0, even somebody having $100 is going to look amazing and it's going to be enough to contribute. The men were able to be providers because they were only allocating the money out regularly to one gender. The government doesn't want to give enough money to allocate to both genders for one gender to be the sole provider. Like, could you imagine how much money they would have to give men? The government ain't doing that. And they're getting mad at us, and it's like, you should go take that up with the government. Like, you should take that up with them as to why they're not paying you. And the thing about it is that there is a gender gap. Like, the men do get paid more for performing the same job as a woman. But the way I look at it, it's like, really, your anger is displaced. You're mad at the wrong person. It's like the same thing with like child support. They had to come up with child support for a reason. Like, they don't come up with these rules out of thin air. The reason why they came up with child support was because they saw a pattern in how men were in regards to their children. They saw that the men weren't taking care of their children. And so the government, the thing about it is this, what people don't realize is that The government extracts money from humans based off of repeated, unpredictable behavior. So the government knows men are violent. So that's the reason why they funnel money through the jail and the prison system. That's the reason why they let the people off. They let people off after they have like been guilty of like assaulting someone, because they know that the person's going to go right back to jail. So that's going to pad the pockets of the judges, the court system, the jails, et cetera, because they know that men are violent. So they're exploiting the fact that men are violent in order to make a profit. The powers that be know that men are not caretakers of their children. The powers that be, they know that men are not nurturing with their children. So to exploit that, they came up with child support. It's not like the government is like, oh yeah, we're going to make so much money off of the few men that aren't supporting their children. No, they're making money over the fact that there's a large amount of men who they know they're not going to take care of them. That's the reason why they created it, because they're exploiting it. Exactly, because the powers that be are the same men. Exactly. That's why you have the wealthiest man that has 14 children and like has his jurisdiction for child support in Texas, because it's like one of the cheapest state. They put a cap on how much child support you can pay. So even he searched for a bargain, and it's rumored that he didn't even take care of all of his children or support his children. And he's the wealthiest man. Even he searched for a bargain. So that should already tell you that they don't want to give you money. They don't want to provide. They don't want to provide for their children. They don't want to do that. She said farmers control male population of animals for a reason, but suddenly with humans, they don't have a clue. Exactly. Exactly. They want the benefits of women for free always. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we are able to provide way more. We're able to provide way, 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 way more than what the males can. This is why you have like the average man. They have to take credit. They have to take credit for what the top men are doing, because the average man is not really, overall, they're not really able to contribute to society to the point where if we had a large collapse of the average man, it's like, okay, obviously it would be impactful, you know what I mean? It would be impactful to some degree. But in my opinion, I don't really think it would be impactful in the way of like getting a replacement, because the thing about it is that all of the sectors that women serve, like for instance, in healthcare, okay, who's going to take care of all the sick people? Healthcare is a female dominated field. Who's going to take care of the sick people? Teaching and education, that's primarily with a ton of women that are in that field. We already know that, okay, obviously the future needs to be educated, but school is also daycare, because what people have to work. If that were to get eradicated, who's going to be the person doing that? Who's going to be able to go to work and also watch their children at the same time? How is that going to happen? That's why I don't understand why women want a man in their house. They provide nothing but chaos. Child, they really want a man that bad. They do, they really want a man that bad. I guess they fear the idea of being in the home alone more than they would fear being in the home with a man. And the thing about it is that these men gotta put you through the mud for you to actually get to that realization when you're like, "You know what? I would actually prefer to live alone. I actually would prefer to live alone." It is, it's the D, and I wish women would be honest with themselves. I really wish women would be honest with themselves and just admit to the fact that sex with men is the only form of intimacy that women receive from them. Men receive way more intimacy from women than women receive from men. Men don't know how to be emotionally intimate. Men don't know how to domestically be intimate. Men, a lot of them, most of them don't know how to be sexually intimate. So the only form of intimacy that women can kind of cling on to is just sleeping with a man. A man cannot provide intimacy in any form long term. They can't. Grew up in the house with four men. No thanks. They don't clean, cook, wash, etc. Child. She says, so glad to live alone now. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Oh my goodness. I would have went crazy. I would have went crazy. This is why when women are like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, my husband puts it down. I'm like, girl, it's not that he's putting it down in the bedroom. You're in a heightened state sleeping with him because this is the only thing that you're getting from him. That's a strong form of validation. I am a firm believer in that. I am a firm believer in that. A lot of these women, they're clinging on to the D, not because the D is good. It's the only way that the man is showing how much he likes someone. And men admit this. Men literally admit this. They literally admit the fact that, like, oh yeah, the only way that I can display my love and is to show my love is in the bedroom. That's you don't need to be in a relationship for that. I'm sorry, you don't need to have somebody extracting labor from you that you're cooking for, cleaning for, doing all this stuff. I'm sorry, you don't need to have a tie with somebody that strong for you to only get the feeling, okay, just the feeling that this man is actually interested in you. That's insane. That is insane. Like, girl, he don't like you. He likes sleeping with you. Exactly. That's it. And half of them, I feel like they don't even like that. That's why they're always cheating with somebody. They're always cheating with somebody. I'm sorry. Why are you? And then they have this then they have this logic behind sleeping with multiple women. And they're just like, and it comes from a conquering mindset because they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to feel how all of these different punanis feel." And it's like, it has nothing to do with that. You just need this to pump up your ego and your self-esteem by conquering as many women as possible. Because you don't have anything else going for yourself. That's the only thing you have going on. She said, nah, I put up with the D in exchange for labor, and the exchange was vastly unequal. The deal I got was better than most, but still sucked. Like, no thanks. No thanks. I'm not putting up with that stuff. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm not putting up with any of that shit. Go find somebody else to do it. I can't. Yeah, because they know if they open up, all the evil is going to pour out and you'll see them for who they really are. Exactly. This is the reason why the vulnerability that they give is not real. It's not real. This is the reason why when they're like, well, when we open up and when we're vulnerable, women say that it gives them the ick. The reason why men's vulnerability tends to give women the ick is because you could tell that it's not coming from a genuine place. Their vulnerability, the vulnerability is them upset about a girl rejecting them in third grade. Like, you need to talk to a therapist about that shit. Like, that happened way too long ago. And the severity of that impacting you as a grown man, that's an issue. That's not something that like a girlfriend, that's not something like a girlfriend would be able to solve. Queen, I asked a question and it won't let me send a super chat. Oh, I don't know, because I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe pop out and pop back in. I'm only coming for the D in exchange for 2 weeks worth of weed. Get it how you live, girl. I'm too freaking nice. Like, oh my God. Could you imagine a grown man? Could you imagine a grown man across from you doing that? You won't give me what I want, and I'm just being so nice. Can't you see how nice I'm being? You know, when you can hear that they're trying to mask the anger. They're trying to mask the anger. Can't you see how nice I'm trying to be to you? I'm trying to be nice to you. They make that ugly face. I'm just too nice. Everyone takes advantage of me. It's like, how can you look at somebody and not start laughing? I'm 34 and a virgin and dating somebody. What advice do you give for a young woman wanting to give it up? Don't do it. Please don't do it. I always tell women that are virgins to not do it. I'm telling you, please don't do it. Don't do it. There are men out there that'll spend $100,000 to take your virginity. If you're gonna do it, I wouldn't do it for free. I wouldn't do it for free. I would even get a fake medical document proving that you have an intact hymen. But personally, I wouldn't do it just to say that like you did it, or like you're curious about the experience, because it's not going to be a fun experience. It's not. Yeah. If I could redo it all over again, I would have just stayed a virgin. Honestly, if I could do it all over again. But of course, if you're going to use protection, but I'm going to always tell y'all, if y'all are a virgin, go to the grave being a virgin. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. Don't do it. What do I tell him? Tell him put a large sum on your punani, girl. That's your virginity he's taking. Like, honestly, I feel like if you're going to do it, you need to put a large sum. They need to be paying you. They need to be paying you $10,000. They need to be paying you $10,000. And I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Like, exactly $3 million. Like, for real. I'm being so for real. They need to be paying a lot. They need to be paying a lot. I would never. He was mad because he said he didn't want to be married anymore, and I called a lawyer. Oh, of course, because they give you that information. Oh my god, he already has a kid. Oh, hell no. Oh god. Oh god, hell no. If I was a virgin in the last in the last person on earth that I could have lost my virginity with was a man and he already had a child, no. That's insane. I can't stand girls that sell their kitty low in these streets. I know, me too. Me too. Yeah, girl, you're gonna chow. No, please don't. Please don't. And you're pumping up his ego. You're pumping up his ego too. Like he already has a child and you're a virgin. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. He's tainted. Like how men say about women, when our body count is high and how we're used goods and how we're tainted, girl, he's tainted. He's really tainted. He has a child. Exactly. He's for the streets, run through. I'm telling you. She said, get a thrusting machine because it'll be better than these men, anyways. Yep. I mean, I hope at your age you have already been able to self pleasure yourself and like know your body. If you know your body already and you already know how to get yourself there and you're well acclimated with everything down there, you're going to be disappointed. I'm just keeping it real with you. If you made it to 34 and you've gotten acquainted with getting there, you're going to be very disappointed. Once you lose your virginity, you're going to be highly disappointed. Exactly. Did somebody mention Highsmith? Yeah, girl, get you a Highsmith machine. The Highsmith machine they talking about, it can go up to 400. It can do 450 strokes a minute. You could alternatively hire a professional if you want your first time to be pleasant. True. You could do that too. You could do that too. The fact that you remembered it was 450 is so fucking fun. 450 strokes a minute? Bruh. That would send me off like a rocket. That would send me off like a rocket. 450 strokes a minute. That's insane. That's insane. Can't nobody in the world ever want to do that. I'm sorry. If you can, big ups to you. But like I said on the last live stream, I can't even count that. I can't even clap my hands that fast. That is super fast. Yeah, if you're not familiar with what a Highsmith machine is, essentially it's a machine with like an automatic thrusting Peter whacker. And they have all these like different like attachments that you could put on there. And it just automatically just does the stroking for you. You don't have to do anything. And they retail starting at like $120. Yeah. They even have like, yes, it said 450 strokes a minute. I'm so serious. I'm never gonna forget that detail for that Highsmith machine I looked up. I'm never gonna forget that detail. I was like 450 strokes a minute. Man, we could all get away with being celibate, okay? Shit, I got mine for $90. See, that's a steal. That is a steal. But yeah, I'm never gonna forget that detail. 450 strokes a minute, man. These men shouldn't even be in commission anymore. The Hennessy and the chicken wings and These these you got yours for $70 on Amazon. Okay, let me see if I can look a little bit deeper. Did y'all just get these recently? Because these ones that I see on Amazon are high as hell. Okay, I see this one by Oxfun. I see this one by Oxfun, and it's only $88. And this it's a suction cup one. Let me see what the reviews say. All right, so the first review says, "Great machine, blew my mind. This machine blew me away. Love how small and compact it is. It's very simple to put together and easy to use right out the box." Okay, she was ready. She was waiting for that delivery to come. She said it comes with several attachments. The feel of some attachments are soft, like skin, and flexible. Okay. The dial knob, it makes it easy to control the motion of each attachment. It also has a suction plate to attach your own toys. The machine is very sturdy, stable, and has the ability to be set at different heights, which allows for all different positions by using the knobs on the side and the Cosmos to hold it in place. Ooh, that's a good selling point. She said it comes with a bag for discreetness. And she said that for the price, she was questioning the quality. But once she received it, she said the quality is better than expected. Now, how many pumps per minute can this do? Does this give us a pump per minute? I don't see a pump per minute. Oh, okay. So this one says, yeah, 0 to 450 thrusts per minute. Now, somebody in the reviews, hold on. She said the amount of thrust length is very limited. She said really not strong enough to handle my size queen products very easily. What does that mean? Size queen products? But I'm confused. She said the amount of thrust length is very limited. But in my head, I'm thinking like, wouldn't you just get closer? I don't know. She said this live took quite a turn. We did this on another live stream where I freaking I got all entrenched with this Highsmith machine. I only do the ones that have a mount that isn't suction because slippage. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, no. 8 years living together, no ring. Towards the end of the relationship, my father helped him buy a house because everyone thinks he's so nice. He left looking 10 times better while I'm 110 pounds fatter. Oh my God, Sarah. I feel as though you should be able to sue. And I would never talk to my father again. I would never talk to my father again. And I would set up a scam for my ex and take all of his money so that way he would have to foreclose on his home. She said, "You are very good at small talk, queen. You probably could talk about anything for real." She must be using big, heavy attachments. Yeah, she said queen size products. She is using them them BBCs, them BWCs, those massive, massive ones. I think I would get something a little bit more expensive, but I don't want a suction. I don't want a suction. I'm afraid that it would like come off and then I would have to keep reattaching it. Like, I don't want something that would suction. I want it to like go on there. Now, this one isn't bad, and this is an actual Highsmith. Ooh, and they have all of these pretty colors. And you could use your phone. You could use your phone, and like they have like little dial thing. Yeah, this is cute. This one is cute. But yeah, I don't think I would like the suction thing. I want that the silver attachment thing if I were to get that. Not you liking the colors, queen. Yeah, I don't want to just have nothing. I don't want to just have no nothing black. Like I want something cute and colorful. I do. I want something cute and colorful to remind me like that it's mine. Like it's something that I picked out. I don't want to. Thank you. I love your realness and your boldness. Thank you. Dads be thinking son-in-laws are their actual son. Yeah, that would have drove me over the edge. That would have. You're more real than Shira. Glad I found you. Thank you. I love me some Shira, but I could never be as like motherly and like so perfectly appearing like Shira is. Like I can't do that. I think it's just a generational thing. Shira is so politically correct, and I've never been like that. I think your second house is in Gemini in Vedic astrology, the house of speech. That's probably how you are good with small talk. Yup, exactly. They stayed up farting. I'm hollering. They're the being greedy kids at the parade who would never let you get a single piece of candy. Yeah, they're greedy as fuck. They're so greedy. Mm-mm. They're too greedy for me. She says she is stretching herself. Yeah, when that girl said queen size, I was like, dang, like, what are you using? What are you using? The thing that this is what kills me about these toys, it's the fake balls for me. Like, I just kind of feel like the fake balls are stupid. Like, I hate that they like, what am I going to do with some fake balls? I can't stand. You mean you don't believe girls have to be bougie all the time? Love Shira though. I don't even think it's that. I just think that for me, if I feel like doing something, then I'm going to do it. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm just not going to do it. Like I don't feel like putting makeup on every day. So I'm not going to put on makeup every day. Um I don't feel any more or less confident about myself, whether I have makeup on, whether I have a wig on or not. It just doesn't make a difference to me. And then also in regards to like my level of like relatability, listen, the people that like me, they're going to get it. You know what I mean? Like they're going to get my humor, they're going to get my opinions, they're going to get my bluntness. And then the people that don't get it, like they're just not going to get it. You know what I mean? I think I think Shira stays like very, very cognizant. And I do too. Like I am very, very cognizant. But the thing about it is that there are so many deep layers. There are so many deep layers to me that I think that on the surface, it really does seem like, oh my God, like like, and of course I am real, but like there are a lot of layers to me, like a lot of layers to me. And I like staying at the house. I don't like leaving the house. Like I'm the same way. I think women who are very spiritually involved, like I don't even think it's a sign thing. I think women that are very spiritually involved and that are spiritually sensitive, they don't want to go outside. I like staying home. I wouldn't consider myself domestic. Um, I wouldn't consider myself domestic at all. But I think women that are spiritually sensitive, you don't want to go outside because you feel people's energy. You feel it way too easily. You pick up on people's energy way too easily, and it can be very overstimulating. Um, and I've heard Shira talk about that before. I think it's more so that being the reason because once you're good with reading people's energy, you don't want to go outside. You don't want to go outside. Mhm. I don't like going out because there are men out there. I'm hollering. I'm an empath. Home feels the best. Yeah, like I like to be at the crib. Like I don't y'all, I resigned from my job that I never started. I resigned from my job that I never started. I sent them an email this morning because like they were obviously trying to get like onboarding documents for me. And I did like start them, like I did send them some. But my flu shot is about to be expired in a week. And I'm like, dude, I just don't feel like going back. I don't feel like going back to work, child. I don't feel like going back to work. Um, like I don't feel like doing any of these travel assignments. Like, I just want to keep being creative with social media. Girl, I'm telling you, grind as an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's in you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the support. Honestly, I think and the thing about it is that I just force myself to be like, bitch, you have to just completely commit to what it is that you're doing. And the thing about it is that the universe is not rewarding me anyway. Like even the travel assignments, like the ones that I did want to do, they had like used somebody else anyway. Like they ended up choosing like other candidates anyway. And like normally this never happens. Like usually like they always pick me up right away. Child, they really haven't been, not the assignments that I want to do. So I'm like, yeah, bitch, it's a sign. Just keep grinding. Keep grinding. What is your relationship like with your parents? Do you have any brothers or sisters? It's so crazy that you asked me that. Um, there are two creators on here. If you're one of those like people that are into like energy readers and energy healers, especially if you're a black woman and you want to get readers from women of color, um, energy. So it's like INNERG energy. She's a content creator on here. She has really, really good readings that resonate with me. And she literally just did one yesterday that she posted in regards to family. I get along with my family. I have no beef with my family, but I've never in my life felt that closeness with my family. Like, you know how there are just people and like they look forward to seeing their family, they look forward to like talking to their family and like it's like a perpetual thing. I've never really had that. I've never really had that feeling before. And it's not because like anything has really happened with my family, because I have very, very great parents, but like it's even in my astrological chart. Like family is not a focal point for me. So I get along with everybody. I do have half siblings, but like I don't talk. Like there's some people like my one friend, she talks to her. Well, she's not my friend anymore, but she would talk to her mom like every day. Like every single day she would talk to my mom. I don't talk to my parents every single day. I haven't talked to my sister. God, I haven't talked to my sister since the beginning of the year, I would want to say. Has it been the beginning of the year? No, it hasn't been the beginning of the year. No, it was the beginning of the year. It was the first quarter of the year. I haven't talked to her since. Not because there's no beef, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, and please make sure you save your money. That's so important. Like, that's like another thing too that I really have learned about myself with like me making this transition between having a 9 to 5 and being an entrepreneur. The more money that you end up making, the more the easier it is for you to find stuff to like bullshit and spend money on. You don't really think is hard when you have like money coming in. You're not thinking as hard about what you're spending the money on. I've now been forced to like really sit down and think about like what I'm like spending money on and like really having to think deep about like, is this something that I'm going to use? Like we literally have people that were waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting outside of Starbucks to get a fucking $32 cup in the shape of a teddy bear. We have a problem with consumerism here in America. We have a huge problem with consumerism here in America. And so I've gotten to the point now, and I've always been in like a duality phase where I would go in and out of like caring about my lifestyle and then not caring about my lifestyle. But the thing about it is that like I don't want to have to work hard to have a certain lifestyle. And I kind of feel as though like when I care more about doing the things that I want to do, I care less about having a lifestyle because I don't have to consume things in order to fill the void because I'm not doing what I want to do. That's really what it is. That's like 1000% what it is. Yeah, and like and the thing about it is that my friend at the time, I did bring it up to her, not in a mean way, but I was just kind of like, do you think that you talking to your mom every day comes from like you being codependent? Because I've been there. Like I stayed home for like quite some time, but I stayed home through college. Um and then once I had graduated with my second degree, I ended up leaving home. And then eventually over time, she started to get smothered by like her mother. And so she did reduce the conversation over time. But for me, like, yeah, it's the codependency thing that I think it's a struggle for most people when it comes to their family. Once you're not codependent anymore, the thing about it is that it's so crazy. I highly recommend for you to check out Energy. And then I also, if you're into like readings, like tarot readings and like energy reading and like collective readings, if you're into stuff like that, you really should check out Energy, INNER, the letter G. And then hold on, because there's another creator that's really good that I like. Her messages always resonate with me. They're really, really good. Um where is her? Because she has two pages, and I want to make sure I'm giving the right one. It would be 10 times easier if I was just on the TV. But anyway, she was talking about like because the energy she just did one about family, and essentially she was talking about how when like you see your family in like roles, and so once you don't see your family in like the roles that they're in and you start seeing your family as just regular human people that had a human life experience like everybody else, you don't put them on a pedestal anymore. And so a few years ago, that was when I like came to this revelation that I'm like, okay, yeah, it's my mother, but like my mother is her own person with her own unique set of experiences. And like the same thing with my father. And so, there are just certain things that is just like, and my parents are really young. Like my parents are really, really, really young. So my parents are out living their own life. Like I hear about like certain people that I know, and they're like, oh, yeah, like my family's coming out to see me. My parents are not flying out to see me. Okay. They're not flying out to see me unless I had a child, and they would only do it once probably. My parents are so young. They're focused on their own grind and their own hustle and like what they're trying to build in life and what they're trying to achieve in life. Um, it's not that they don't care about me, but I kind of feel like doing things like that, like going out of your way to like travel to see your like children and things like that. I think that that's something that like as parents get older, they start to care a whole lot about. But like my parents, under just regular general life expectancy terms, like they have a long time to live. So they're focused on a lot of things. And I don't take those things personally. A person that is like really big on roles, they would take things like that personally and be like, well, they're your parents. Like your parents are supposed to travel to see you, and your parents are supposed to do. And it's like, yeah, but I also have like two ambitious ass parents. Like my parents are highly ambitious. And no, my parents aren't together. And yeah, anything with like a cult, like like esoteric, like things. I have a spiritual channel, so y'all can follow me there. That's where we're actually gonna go to next. Like I have tarot cards right in front of me. Yeah, uh-huh. Yep, the energy reader. Yeah. I like her content. Her readings, they resonate with me. And there's another one, Jade. Let me see. What is her name? I know she has an account, Jade's Secret, but that's her second account. It's not her main account because her main account, it's like a weird way that she spells it. It's like it's Jadina. So Jhadina. She's really good too. She's really, really good too. Um, so those are like two content creators that I like to follow, that they have really good yeah, yep, you got it. Jhadina. Yep, that's her. I like her and I like energy. They have really, really good content. And like I've been going out of my way to like see my family, but also I also had to realize too that like there's also a level of codependency that I'll have on them too. We're gonna go to the spiritual channel though, because I've been on here for 2 hours. Um, let's go ahead and hop over to the spiritual channel, Queen the Mystic. It's gonna be a short live stream. We're only talking about astrological houses over there. We're not talking about anything like super, super crazy. It's just I'm doing an astrology like series, I guess, of some sort that you could say. Um, and so we're gonna explain on a pretty broad level. Like I don't want to go into like your midhaven point and your descending point, ascending point, nadir point. Like I don't want to go too crazy. Like your suck it in angular. Like I don't want to go crazy, crazy deep into stuff like that. It's just going to be straight to the point what the 12 houses mean. So I'm going to get off of here, and actually let me not get off yet. What I'm going to do, let me schedule the live stream. Oh my God, they're making us do a orientation for this. They're doing something new with StreamYard now. I think it's because StreamYard wants to connect to more, they want to connect to more social media platforms. All right, I'm going on the other channel. All right. So I'll see y'all over there. Meet me at the other channel. The link is in the chat right now. So I'll see y'all over there. Bye.